How are you doing tonight, Internet? B.Love Mimosa reporting to you from my home. People have been asking of me recently to do more spoken word. I have a lot of knowledge on rather bizarre topics and things people don't really talk about, and I spend all my time researching these things. So I've got a little bit of knowledge to spread, and so yeah, due to request, I'm gonna try this and see how y'all like it. Today, I've got a really interesting topic, something I'm very passionate about, so it's not going to be that hard for me to talk about this. It came up when I saw this video about the FunVax, FunVax being a vaccination for religious fundamentalism to cure the disease of being a religious or godly person. Yeah, that's going to be our topic of today. But, first, I really want to get into the war on consciousness. This is a very real war. It's been going on for years. This is, something that's, a lot of us are experiencing the effects from, and no one really talks about this. I remember I got a book several years ago. It was called The God Part of the Brain. It was a really interesting book for me because it was coming from a completely scientific point of view, talking about the religious experience as it pertains to brain chemistry and brain activity. And it which really broke through my mind at the time. I was going through, a period of my life where I was questioning a lot of things, and here I am reading about a scientist that is actually seeing that parts of the brain are going through activity through, things like prayer, meditation, reading their holy scripts, whatnot. So that was quite a fascinating idea to me, and started learning about the pineal gland. The pineal gland, it's the third eye. It's right up there. It's about the size of a walnut, maybe, 5 inches from my finger. And it's creating, secreting, and regulating a chemical called DMT. Releases it. The brain, in turn, uses this chemical to create our conscious experience, to let us perceive, let us see, let us smell, let us hear, let us feel. It is specifically the chemical that creates the human experience. It's found all over nature. 400 different animal species, thousands of plants. Some have even said it's plants containing this DMT have similar consciousness or awareness of themselves as human beings do. I guess still some research to prove that, but it's a great theory. But anyway, so this pineal gland, that's where these religious experiences come, and seems like it's really important as well to, I don't know, functioning, caring about yourself, sleeping healthy, sleep regulation, because you release DMT when you sleep, it sounds like doing anything to that would, severely hurt a person, consciously, who knows the side effects, but that's not something, I want to even think about, But, this war on consciousness, it really, they started out, using fluoride like 50 years ago, adding fluoride. It was, first reported use we have of fluoride use is in the Nazi concentration camps. There's thought, hey, we can get these guys, to not be riled up, to just be, mentally brain dead, numb, we're going to add a bunch of fluoride, which is a neurotoxin. It's just going to dumb them down and it's going to make them complacent. And so they start doing that on the prisoners as they're loading them in to be executed by the millions, you know? And yeah, so, Nazi Germany collapses, all these Nazi scientists all of a sudden come over that. They work for the CIA. And by the way, we're going to, start using fluoride in the water. We're going to get some people to sit here and say that this stuff is great for our teeth, it's great for our bones. And we've got this miracle, teeth chemical that we're going to put in everybody's water now. It doesn't do a damn thing for your teeth. It's actually bad for your bones. It's bad for your teeth. It doesn't do a damn thing for it. And all of a sudden everyone's just glad they got fluoride in the water. You can... And here it is that it turns out that the fluoride also calcifies the pineal gland. So when you're using this fluoride, it's basically crippling this pineal gland and your DMT production, causing bad sleep, less of a human experience, less aware of what's going on around you. People don't even know it, and you're not going to know the situation you're in until you know the difference. So you get fluoride out of your diet, you're not going to realize how different your experience as a human being can actually be. So it's real important to us to think of pineal gland health in general. And, we go on to the pharmaceutical industry. SSRI is going to pick on them a little bit. I don't know where they come up with this stuff. So they doing tests on LSD, they realize, the cerebral cortex of these individuals in these tests are just like firing off. There's all this brain activity, all this electrical movement, and they're experiencing more of reality in these moments than, without the chemical induction. And they look at that and they're thinking, it's amazing. Well, how could we do the exact opposite thing to the cerebral cortex and make it to where there's like no, activity, no response to, get the cerebral cortex into a vegetative state where there's no response. So they get into the lab, they try to create this, and they create SSRIs, put these out on the masses that end up, you don't have any emotions, you don't have anything, because it just doesn't make you give a damn. It's apathy and a chemical. The brain synapses aren't firing. Like, you go through heartbreak, you go through tragedy, and I'm not going to receive that message. I'm not going to give that message out. You just deal with it later, and you just become a zombie, and you're not having, emotions, not feeling. It's terrible. And then of course they load a bunch of fluoride in it. It needs fluoride. Put more fluoride out there. It's a neurotoxin. It is going to make you not have feelings. So it's a wonder drug for depression, to not have feelings. That'll make it. Then they do, this war on drugs. They load you up on drugs. You have to be honest. Adderall, Ritalin, Concerta. I mean, this is just high-grade pharmaceutical meth. These kids are getting loaded on meth. They're going to school loaded on meth. They grow up, they start smoking meth. They have this addiction that's been given to them to amphetamines. This is an epidemic, a forced fucking amphetamine addiction on our children, and no one's batting an eye on it. And it's alright, because then we create the war on drugs. We're gonna create a war on citizens, because the fucking CIA creates crack in a laboratory, releases it in Washington, D.C., releases it all over America, creates a crack epidemic, and then they come up with the cure. A fucking war on American soil perpetrated by the police, you know, straight from Washington, and it going into every home in America, you know, guns a-blazing, kicking down doors, you know, all this Gestapo shit. We watched it on Cops growing up, and I just always thought that was weird. No one batted an eye. I was just watching these people's houses get knocked in. And I can't tell you how much sleep I've lost, and I'm not even done anything wrong. I'm just afraid that someday the door's going to get knocked in. This is crazy. Fear mongering, you know, putting this idea out there, making it okay, you know, and, you know, the kids don't have a lot of hope, man. Go from being forced to be drugged to getting arrested for drugs, you know, and there needs to be a new way of looking at it, and maybe we should stop taking drugs. Sounds like a good start. Stop forcing it on the children, you know, let children, you know, deal with their humanity, you know. So anyway, getting far off on that tangent. So the FunVax, the vaccination for religious fundamentalism, going to cripple this pineal gland. You know, tell you honestly, I was not there when this video was recorded. I have no idea the authenticity of this, and I am hoping it's a hoax. I'm hoping this is something that, you know, is not a Department of Defense meeting, which is what the video is showing, which I'll share with you on a link. Does not look, you know, if this is actually a Department of Defense meeting, these people have no souls. Openly talking about those who have a religious experience, those who have a relationship with God, as being abnormal, and that normal humans don't have this experience. So it's looking to me, it sounded to me like everyone needs to be robots, you know, not have a conscience, not really think about it. That's a disease we now have to be cured of. The people responding, everyone seems really interested in what's being said here, and, you know, I hope this is a hoax. I mean, the only thing I could liken this to is castration, you know, cutting off someone's ability to just feel pleasure and, you know, to connect with another human being in a beautiful way, you know, cutting off your connection with God and not letting you have that experience, not letting, you know, cutting out a part of the human experience completely from our consciousness. It's nothing more deplorable that I could ever imagine than that. And, you know, someone's interested in it, even if this is a hoax, you know, might not be too long till someone's trying to create this, and it is chemically possible. It is chemically possible. They're talking about hiding this in vaccines. You know, how are you going to find out who gets it? You're going to go through NSA records. You know, you're going to go, you know, look at the church, you know, records to see who's a member of what church and just get the whole congregation. Are you going to just dump it on Africa like you did after you created the AIDS virus, you know, like, who's this gonna be used against? Why would it even be talked about? Why are we creating this? Why can't human beings just come together, work together to create a better experience for everything and everyone, instead of wanting to limit each other's experiences and cut some people off from the very thing that makes them you know, the being that they were created. You know, it's deplorable in its implications, and I really hope that this is a hoax. But, you know, check out the video and stay informed. This is B.Love signing off. Have a great day.